Welcome to Story Time with Zoidbeurger.
Okay, you're so bloody hot, Sniper growled, his eyes groping every inch of his lover's body. Lying beneath him, legs hooked on his slim hips, Spy writhed, lips parted, jaw hanging open, his breath panting out of him in needful little puffs. Scarred, smooth skin undulated with each breath, each thrust, sheen with the lightest hint of sweat. He wore at Sniper's work, shirt unbuttoned and rumpled, the assassin's akubra perched crookedly on top of his head. His cheeks were flushed red, his eyes struggling to focus on the Australian atop him, inside him. Nails dragged down Sniper's back, digging in harder and harder as the taller man drove into his lover, deeper and faster, taking his pleasure and claiming his property. Spy was his and only his. His clothes on the Frenchman drove him wild, a sign of possession. And he worked to stake that claim with his hips, pounding flesh to flesh, impaling him in an animal frenzy. Sniper's grunts and the slapping of flesh were the only sounds audible in the small, rocking van. Spy nearly insensate from the furious invasion of his body. His lips moved uselessly as he tried and failed to construct sounds, vocalizations dying out before they could pass his throat, seeping out of him in desperate breaths. He held on to Sniper for dear life, fearing he would slip into a coma were he to let go, his whole body shuddering with electric pulses, each thrust sending him tumbling into a void of pure sensation, numb to all with the perfect bliss that handsome bushman was inflicting upon him. Snarling, vicious, Sniper claimed what was his, taking Spy as hard and as fast as his body could muster. He wanted him, needed him to bury himself deep inside the squirming creature beneath him and make him his. No one else had access to this treasure, could even glimpse the beauty and perfection he had the privilege of calling his own. The screwed-up mask of passion that contorted Spy's face interminably in a sort of rigor grimace, the arched back, the trembling, quivering legs, that beautiful red flush that covered his chest and cheeks. It was all Snipers to behold, Snipers to enjoy, Snipers to own. Before he knew it, the bushman felt Spy's body clenching around him, legs going taut, pelvic floor spasming around his cock, nails dragging down his shoulders in elated Like a dam breaking, the Frenchman's voice burst forth from him in a strained, grasping cry, invoking God as he clawed at the object of his idolatry. The growl, hungry and unrestrained, Sniper drove deep into Spy, relishing the quaking ripples of his lover's orgasm, and hissed, releasing his seed inside of him, filling him with his warmth. Spy's body went slack as Sniper stalled, shivering as heat bloomed inside of him. His arms fell around the taller man's shoulders, the hat flopping off his head as it hit the pillow. His eyes rolled back in his head and he tried to catch his breath, his legs going limp and falling from Sniper's hips. With a rough chuckle, the bushman pulled out of his exhausted lover, rolling off of him to lie at his side, wrapping long hairy arms around the rogue and pulling him close. He buried his nose on Spy's moist, sweaty hair. "You smell so good, love." A single puff of air carried a laugh from Spy's throat, a smile crawling across his lips. "I smell like sweat and sex." "Exactly." The end.
This has been Story Time with Zoidbeurger.